series, an initiative started by LJ Institute of Pharmacy, Ahmedabad. This is Kaushika Patel, an assistant professor from the Department of Pharmaceutical Technology, and today we are going to discuss about the polymers used in controlled release drug delivery system in our session. So what is controlled release drug delivery system? It is a system in which an predetermined release rate can be obtained by a proper time period, for a proper time period. So here we are going to discuss which polymers can help to provide controlled release of drug in the body. So first of all, polymer is a Greek word which means that many parts are joined together. So polymer are the large molecules which are obtained when many thousands and hundreds of monomers they join together. If two different types of monomers are joining together, it can also be known as copolymer instead of polymer. Polymers can be classified in different ways. They can be classified based upon their source, based on degradation, based on their nature of interaction with the water, or based on polymerization reaction. So we will take one by one. So polymers based on natural source, they can be natural polymers, semi-synthetic polymers, or synthetic polymers. Natural polymers, they are obtained from the nature like different gums, collagen, gelatin, albumin, etc. Semi-synthetic polymers, they can be obtained from nature as well as they can be prepared in the lab. Different cellulose derivatives like HPMC, MC, HEC, HPC, sodium CMC, all those are semi-synthetic polymers. Synthetic polymers are the ones which are prepared in the laboratory itself without any natural source, like polylactic acid, polylactic glycolic acid, polyanhydrates, polyacrylamides, etc. What is the biggest disadvantage of natural polymers? Natural polymers, they lead to microbial growth very easily. So their shelf life is less and you require preservative in the formulation. They may also lead to batch variation because there might be difference in the polymer nature which is obtained from the different parts of the state or the world, and that's why batch to batch variations are possible. You may get uncontrolled rate of hydration due to the difference in the basic properties of the polymer. Next is the polymers based on degradation. There can be biodegradable polymers or there can be non-biodegradable polymers. Again, biodegradable polymers, they can be obtained from natural, synthetic or semi-synthetic source. So the natural biodegradable polymers, they are the protein-based polymers or polysaccharides. Synthetic one are the polyesters or polyanhydrates. Semi-synthetic are the copolymers like chitosan. Non-biodegradable polymers, they can be synthetic or semi-synthetic. Synthetic polymers are non-biodegradable polymers are silicon derivatives or acrylic polymers, whereas semi-synthetic non-biodegradable polymers, they are cellulose derivatives which are used very widely. What are these biodegradable polymers? They are the special type of polymers which break down by a bacterial decomposition process. There are certain properties which are desired in the biodegradable polymers, like they should be stable and durable, they should have high surface area for the reaction with the bacteria, they should have low crystallinity and low degree of polymerization, they should be hydrophilic in nature because hydrophobic group does not allow the enzyme to react properly and fast. They should be non-toxic. They should have good mechanical integrity until they are degraded, and they should lead to controlled rate of degradation. What are the advantages? They can give you localized drug delivery, that is site specific delivery. They can help in sustained delivery of drug. They can help in the stabilization of the drug by encapsulating it in some dosage form. They can provide a release rate which is not dependent upon the drug properties, and you can get a steady release rate, that means controlled release can be obtained with respect to time. The third is the polymers based on nature of interaction with the water. So there can be hydrophilic polymer, hydrophobic polymer, or there can be hydrogel material. Hydrophilic polymer, they are not soluble in water, but they are soluble in water or any fluid, and then they give you the drug release. All the cellulose derivatives, they are hydrophilic in nature. Apart from that, the non-cellulosic polymers which are hydrophilic, they are different gums, chitose and alginates, PEO, PGs, etc. etc. So there are many polymers which are hydrophilic in nature. When we go to for hydrophobic polymers, they don't swell in the presence of water. They are practically insoluble. So ethyl cellulose, polydimethylsiloxanes and certain polymethacrylate grades, they are hydrophobic in nature. Third is hydrogel material. If you want to form hydrogel material which can have very high water retention property, then you can use polymers like PVA, PG or polyacrylamines. Fourth is the polymers based on polymerization. So there can be addition polymers where the monomers, they are repeatedly they are added upon with each other. One form of polymer here is converted to another form with the loss of ion or atom from the molecule. Second is the condensation polymer where two different monomeric units, they are merged together by condensation reaction. Here one polymer can convert to another polymer without any loss of atom or ion, like nylon. So what are the desired properties from any polymer? It should be versatile, it should have good mechanical, physical and chemical properties, it should be non-toxic, it should be inert, it should be inexpensive. These are the general properties of polymer which are desirable. But if you want to go for pharmaceutical polymers, then the polymer should have one or many of such properties like film forming, thickening, gelling, adhesion, pH dependent solubility, solubility in some organic solvents, or they should have some barrier mechanism towards for the protection and the packaging. Okay, so all these properties are desired in pharmaceutical polymer. Now, how the drug release from the polymer? So three different mechanisms are possible: either diffusion, degradation or swelling or water penetration. Any of this mechanism alone or in combination can occur for the release of drug from the polymer. First is diffusion. In this case, the drug molecule diffuses through the polymer barrier. That barrier can be matrix system or reservoir system. In matrix system, the drug is dispersed within the polymer network, whereas in reservoir system, the drug is encapsulated by the polymer network. Second is the degradation. Here the drug releases as and when the polymer degrades. Okay, so biodegradable polymers like PLA, PLGA are to be used for preparing such type of mechanism in the formulations. Third is swelling or water penetration. These polymers, they are completely dry, but once they come in contact with the surrounding fluid and the water penetrates inside them, they start swelling and the drug releases through the swollen polymer network based on diffusion. So now what is biodegradation of polymer? Biodegradation is a chemical process where there is a change in the molecular weight or the solubility of the polymer. Second term is bioerosion, which is a physical process where the weight of the polymer is lost. There is reduction in the size of the polymer. Bioerosion can occur by two methods, either by hydrolytic mechanism or by enzymatic mechanism. In hydrolytic mechanism, the chemical bonds are broken based on the attack of water. So all the biodegradable polymers, they have different groups like hydrolyzable groups like glycosides, esters, which can be attacked by water. There is a breaking of the polymer, and by such method the drug release can occur. In enzymatic mechanism, here the enzymes will break down the bonds between the polymer. So enzymes, they are acting as the catalyst and they break down the bonds in the polymer for the drug release to occur. If the enzymes attack only on the surface, then it is surface degradation or surface erosion. Whereas if the enzyme can penetrate and attack the polymer entirely, then the bulk erosion will occur. So what are the application of these polymers? So in different dosage forms, these polymers can be used for getting the controlled release or for getting some other form of release. So if you want to make, you are going for solid dosage forms, then in tablets the polymers can be used as binders, they can be used as disintegrating agent, they can be used to coat the tablet to get the controlled release. You can even go for enteric coating by using the polymers, which help in delaying the release of drug in the gastric environment. In capsules, gelatin is used to form the capsule. They can be used in liquid dosage form like suspensions and emulsions as a stabilizing agent. There are other applications also, like they can be used for simple film coating. They can be used in controlled release drug delivery system. They can be used in ophthalmic preparations. They can be used as a thickening agent in suspensions or emulsions, as a stabilizers or preservative. Some polymers, they can be used in suppository bases like PEG. Polymers can also be used in contraceptives and hormonal drug delivery system like medroxyprogesterone acetate. The polymers can also be used in the formulations that are used for the treatment of diabetes. Okay, so these polymers have a wide application. Different types of polymers can be used in controlled release drug delivery system, and you have to make proper selection of polymer based upon the objective of and the rationale of your formulation. So this is all about the polymers used in the uh, in controlled release drug delivery system. I hope you have liked the session. Thank you for watching it. For more updates, like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel Pharma Ignite and press the bell icon for the notifications. Thank you and see you soon.